everyone, I'm Haley, and today I'm going to be talking about why it should be required for students to take a basic skills test in order to graduate. Throughout high school, there have been a lot of arguments over the years as to whether or not students should be required to pass basic skills tests in order to graduate from high school. And throughout high school, students have to take many tests just to make sure that they're learning something. And the only reason why students would not want to take these tests is because, well, maybe they're not learning. There are many students who don't really care about high school, and because of this, they often tend not to pay attention, and in the end, they don't really learn anything. However, having a test, or these tests could help give these students an incentive to do their best and to learn as much as they can. And having a test that could potentially cause someone not to exaggerate would encourage them to learn so that they don't have to stay for another year. And this would help them to get all the knowledge that they would need to succeed in the real world. 26 states either currently have or are planning to put in place a test that a high school exit exam for their students. And these tests may vary between states, but they all have the same purpose: to make sure that students are learning. With the passage of the No Child Left Behind legislature of 2001, all states have been required to administer a standardized test annually to ensure that students are learning all the essential materials. These tests also help teachers to ensure that their students are learning everything that they're teaching and that they're actually paying attention during class. They can also help teachers to realize if they're doing a good job or not as teachers, and if they're teaching everything that these students need to learn. Teachers can't always be sure that students are paying attention during class and that they're learning things, because they could always just be copying off of other students or cheating on tests. But these exit exams could help them figure out exactly which students are struggling and what areas the majority of their students are struggling in, so that they could spend more time on it or stress it more during class. They also allow us to see what these students are capable of, because eventually these students are going to have to leave, and it's important to know what they're capable of so that we could fully put our trust in them. Most students plan on going to college after they graduate, and if not, then they may be planning on going straight into the work life. But for both situations, they will need to be able to analyze conflicting explanations, support arguments, solve complex problems, conduct research, and so on. They also need attributes such as good study skills, time management, and awareness of their performance and persistence. Exit exams could help students to develop some, if not all, of these skills. And the way they can do this is by causing them to use these skills while taking the test. And even though tests can't take all the credit for promoting these students to use these skills, it does help provide a very good incentive for these students to do as good as they can and to pay close attention and learn everything that they need in order to pass. Students without these basic skills really have no place in the adult world, and they really have no place outside of high school, because if there's no common sense in our future generations, how can we expect them to make important and possibly lethal or life-changing decisions? Students in a way need these tests just to help make sure that they're going to get somewhere outside of high school. Maybe not all of them, but the ones who have like an I don't care attitude kind of do, just to make sure that they're staying on track. One of the hardest things that teachers have to deal with is students not paying attention and like having no desire to learn. Some students are really good about paying attention, staying on top of things, and some of them will take upper level classes to make sure they're ahead of life, so they're actually learning. But there are also a lot of students who kind of base their schedule around classes that require little to no effort. And because of this, a lot of times they'll graduate learning hardly anything, and they'll be totally unprepared. There are also many students who skip school because they don't feel like it's very important that they go. And even the ones who do go to school may not always be paying attention. And because of this, they're not learning anything either. Many students believe high school is a complete waste of time, and some believe that maybe it's a little bit stupid. And the reasoning for this is because they're not going to high school because they want to go, but because they have to go. And because students don't go to high school by choice, they often kind of resent it, and this can make it very hard to teach them. However, a test will decrease the number of students who kind of go through high school with this sort of attitude. The fact that they would get held back for not passing would encourage them to learn, because nobody really wants to stay in school for longer than they have to. So these are some of the reasons why passing a basic skills test should be required in order to graduate, because we don't want kids to graduate without learning anything. There's no point in students going to high school and not learning anything. In fact, this would be a complete waste of time, money, and resources. And it would cause these students to have an even harder time outside of high school than they already would if they had learned all of it. So not only would it be pointless, but it would be harmful to these students. It is our responsibility to teach these students and make sure that they are prepared. Even though they may complain that it's not fair or that it's a stupid requirement, students need education, and this is one of the best ways to make sure that they get one.